What's up, everybody? Dragon Ball Super episode 107 review. The theory about the ending potentially spoiling the order in which the Universe 7 fighters get eliminated has been disproven tonight. It's been proven false. I will say, though, that it did make for a lot of very heavy suspense. Very heavy breathing from Vegeta fans, and even if you weren't a Vegeta fan in this episode, you know that thought of him getting eliminated must have crossed your mind at some point, especially when he got caught in the Mafuba wave. I mean, when I saw that for the first time, I was like, are they really doing this? They're doing this? Wow. It's like the fan outrage would have been something to behold. You know what I find hilarious, though, is that after all these investigations, after all of these analysis and breakdowns about like each frame of the ending sequence, you know, fans just trying to infer and extract meaning from each of these panels or each of these shots to try and see if they can figure out an order in which the fighters will be eliminated. It turns out that we just needed to focus on who of the fighters had the least hair. So I guess by that logic, it's like Piccolo and Frieza up next. That and Krillin, Tenshinhan, and Roshi also happen to be the weakest fighters from the Universe 7 lineup. We start off with a breakdown from the Daishinkan, just basically him telling Zeno about the fighters that are left from each universe. We still do not know what's going on with Universe 4. We only get to see two of the remaining fighters, but we know there has to be 4, all right? And like Tenshinhan says, you know, there's a mysterious presence. I sensed it, but nobody showed up, so I don't know what's going on. But even then, Tenshinhan, it's like you sensed one presence. That still leaves another slot open for another fighter. Some fans have speculated that that open slot belongs to Frieza. And I think it was Whis who said they're probably waiting to do something in a very pivotal, very crucial moment of the tournament. So we'll have to wait to see what that is. Then we go to the Universe 11 section of the episode, and Jiren and Toppo have pretty much taken 0 damage at this point. However, I do think that Dispo is kind of achieving that liability status in this episode, because it's like, dude, like, Toppo literally just told you not to let your guard down. And so he goes in for a kick after he blasts Majikayo, and Majikayo's like, gotcha! So he actually turns his hands into scissors, Majikayo scissor hands, and he's like, I'm about to cut your ears off. And, you know, he has to be saved by Jiren. Not directly, but Jiren just starts walking. And then Majikayo's like, okay, well, you know, here comes the boss. And he gets distracted, and Diesel kind of frees himself after that with a blast from the glue. And then after that, Majikayo uses the power of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, Luffy's Gear 3rd technique. Jiren's hit doesn't even land, all right? There's no direct contact of any sort, all right? Just the air pressure alone, the backlash created by his movement, is strong enough to send this guy packing to the stands. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I'm reviewing the play right now. There does seem to be a miniature laser beam coming out of Jiren's finger in that one shot. My bad, I take that back. At first, I thought it was just the air pressure, which would have been amazing, but there does seem to be a mini beam in this shot right here. I guess that laser is what ends up cutting him up, but then the Kaioshin from Universe 3 says that it's just the force of his fist, essentially, so it's a little bit confusing. Is it air pressure or is it a beam? I think it's a beam. Let me know in the comments. And this may seem like a very trivial, very small detail, but I think it's very important that we get this right, folks, because this show thus far has had a great, clean record of providing us, the viewers, with very specific and very good explanations in regards to how characters can perform certain techniques or achieve certain abilities. For example, last time we got a very good explanation, very detailed explanation about why Goku could go Super Saiyan God even after going Super Saiyan Blue, and despite the fact that he hasn't been using Super Saiyan God since Battle of Gods. In this episode, we get an extraordinary explanation in terms of how Frost not only can tank the Mafuba from Master Roshi, but he can also learn how to reflect the wave and aim it at a different target. So obviously I'm being sarcastic. There is absolutely no explanation as to why Frost can do this, okay? But I'm willing to bet that it's because he got busy after the tournament, he got busy watching those GodTube videos. Unfortunately, most of the people from Universe 10 are gone, so they can't deny or confirm this theory, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Now, I do have to give Frost credit because, you know, for all intents and purposes, he was very conniving. He played it very smart in this episode. He wanted to kill two birds with one stone. At first, I think it was apparent that he could just overpower Roshi from the get-go. He even says, I'm actually holding back here. But then he sees the Mafuba, and it's like, wait a minute, I can use this to take him out. And so he starts, like, you know, luring Vegeta in little by little to the point where he actually threatens Roshi with a blast on his forehead. And then Vegeta comes in because, you know, deep down Vegeta cares. Even though he says, you know, I'm not here for you, old man, or whatever. I'm just here because I hate Frost. And then, not only that, he stalls for time telling Vegeta that he's actually gotten weaker since the tournament. And he's just talking, and Vegeta catches him, and he's like, stop doing this. Vegeta shows up from behind, and Frost makes it a point to yell out in order to take out Vegeta because he's just so he's like incredibly durable, right? In order to take him out or push him out of bounds, you're going to have to come up with something else. These attacks won't work on him. And he makes sure that Roshi hears this. Roshi's like, well, if that's the case, then this is going to have to be my last Mafuba! And he does it, and it's like he catches Vegeta in it. But he undoes his mistake by releasing a little mini beam. It's a very, very tiny beam, small enough to crack open the pot. Vegeta comes out there, Super Saiyan Blue, and then Frost just runs away. Just throws like some smoke on the ground. He's like, bye-bye! And then Vegeta just kind of gets pushed out of the platform. I kind of liked the way that Roshi went out. I kind of liked it. You know, I liked that it was, he had a little conversation with Vegeta there. He's like, you know, old man, this is where you retire. And just kind of falls off because he knows that if he keeps going, he's going to die. And then Vegeta just tells him, leave the rest to me. So Frost has been watching GodTube videos, and Vegeta has been busy watching iCarly. Now, throughout this entire episode, we are to believe that Ribrianne was actually capable of holding Goku back from interfering, which is interesting. We do get to see them sparring in the preview, and it seems like base Goku is a pretty evenly matched with Ribrianne at the moment, but doesn't seem like it's going to stay that way for long. Apparently, from the spoilers, Ribrianne gets very jealous because the goddess of Universe 2 kind of like, you know, appreciates Goku and he's like, wow, he's really cool. And she's like, wait, what? No, no! Pay attention to me, I'm from your own universe. So she gets heated. And then Gohan apparently changes his goal to try and take down both Frieza and Frost, which is, it's crazy. We do get to see him land a hit in the preview, which, you know, got me hyped for next week. So he's going up against both of them because, again, thanks to the spoilers, we know that next week's episode is when Frieza and Frost basically spill the beans and say, we hate Saiyans, screw you guys, we're doing this for ourselves, and so we're going against our own respective universes. However, there is a shot in the preview when we see Frost charge up a beam, and I think it's intended to make us think that he's going to betray Frieza and shoot him in the back, but then it's like, well, no duh, it makes sense that both of these guys that have no sense of alliance to anyone but themselves would end up betraying each other. It seems very, very in character for them. Now, if those two do start fighting, I'm pretty confident that Frieza is going to take the win, because as far as I know, there's nothing that Frost has that matches or surpasses Golden Frieza. And even then, I think it was implied back when Goku went to visit Frieza that Frieza was working on another form anyway. So it's like, I think he's completely outmatched. We also get a shot of Toppo fighting Kaba, so is that like another elimination up next? Overall, though, this episode did kind of leave me with a question, which is that if Vegeta is going to stay, and you can argue, you know, whether or not him not being eliminated in this episode was a good thing or a bad thing. But my question is this: if he's going to stay, what's going to happen to him when Goku starts fighting Jiren? Because it's like, I guess I don't see how he's going to fit in, especially since we know how powerful Jiren is at this point. Kaioken times 20 doesn't do anything. He starts like, just basically starts off with a clean sweep. I mean, taking out fighters left and right. And it has also been heavily hinted and foreshadowed that Gohan will have his time to shine in the future by possibly unleashing a new form as well. So it's kind of like, okay, Goku's time is coming. Gohan, I'm assuming his time comes after his dad. where does Vegeta fit in that? Because here's the thing, right? Vegeta historically has been used as a way of hyping up the antagonist of the arc. You know, he comes in there before Goku, and then the main antagonist kind of takes care of him, and that hypes up the villain, that hypes up the antagonist, but then it's kind of like, well, yeah, but Vegeta was, you know, doing something really cool, but you have to leave the big bad to Goku. And so my concern is this: if they're gonna do that with him, so that Jiren, if the only reason for why he stayed or he's gonna stay this long is for Jiren to crap all over him, I honestly think it would have been a better idea to have him eliminated right here. But please let me know your thoughts. You know, hopefully they do something epic with him, and they're letting him stay for a reason that is, you know, not just to hype up Jiren. Like the video if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I do Dragon Ball Super reviews every Saturday night. Catch you guys later. Bye.